distinguished audience, we have from knowledge and wisdom of history. It is embedded deeply in our civilizational ethos of thousands of years. Power, authority in an individual or an institution is optimally productive, while those at the helm of affairs are cognizant of limitations and tempering it with morality and propriety. The historian and moralist, and most often we have quoted him, I am referring to Lord Acton. He wrote a letter in 1887 to Bishop Mundell Crichton. I quote, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely." This, my friends, most of you have noticed. But the letter contains another expression: great men are almost always bad men, unquote. These institutions, I am referring to three pillars of our democracy. These institutions, if rendered vulnerable, would imperil our democracy and thereby derail our developmental trajectory. There are forces, and these forces inimical to our nation, operating from within and without, have pernicious agenda, sinister designs that are not easy to instantly discern. We might be welcoming them in any of these three institutions without knowing their real intention, thinking they are our well-wishers. Fact, distinguished audience, is otherwise. I must invite your attention. Endeavors to infuse a narrative that what happened a few days ago in our neighborhood is bound to happen in our Bharat is deeply concerning. How can a citizen of this country, having been in parliament, one belonging to distinguished legal fraternity, the other seen enough of Indian Foreign Service, both had the occasion to hold positions of critical consequence in governance as ministers, take no time in saying what happened in neighborhood will happen in India. Be on watch out. I am talking to a very distinguished audience, an audience that is discerning. I leave it at that. One of the operational mechanisms of these anti-national forces, and this is now more than apparent, they operate to hide their legitimate actions using platforms of our fundamental constitutional institutions. You know more than I do. Our institutions are being exploited by these forces to set afloat narratives that are not only anti-national, but aimed at derailing the nation, its democracy. Who can dispute today India is the only country in the world that is having that kind of economic rise which none has? Never in the history of any country there have been accolades pouring in day in and day out. There is a country on the rise on every aspect, from sea to land to space and air. Be on the watch. Honorable, distinguished audience, in a scenario like this, let us work together. Let us work in togetherness. Let us work looking through one prism where we always see our nation first. National interest can't be calibrated. It is the supreme precedence, the only precedence, and we are committed to nation being first before anything else.